those of us that live in San Miguel know that we live in a very special place. Besides the wonderful weather we have, the architecture, and the rich Mexican culture, we have arts, we have music, we have literary events, and we used to have live theater. We all remember those days until the pandemic. And then, of course, it went away, and it has been away for a long period of time. Fortunately, things are about to change. Today, we're delighted to have as our guest, Alan Jordan, the award-winning Canadian actor, director, and artistic director of Caja Negra. Alan's career in theater, film, and television spans 40 years in the United States, in Canada, and in Mexico. Some of the stage credits include roles in the New York Circle Repertory Company, Manhattan Theatre Club, and the Playwrights Horizon, as well as Canada's Stratford Festival, and I'm going to need my glasses, Globe Theatre. After his long career in theater, Alan retired, although really not retirement, as we well know, because he has come here and he has acted, directed, and produced theater for us all to enjoy. In 2013, he founded Caja Negra and has produced many plays, and thankfully I've been able to enjoy many of them. Diary of a Madman, By the Waters of Babylon, Kiss of the Spider Woman, Act of God, The Tricky Part, and I can go on and on. We can go for the amount of theater that he's produced here. Today, he's going to share his newest project with us. He's building a new, unique theater in Centro, the new home for Caja Negra. Alan, I'm so glad that you're with us. Please tell us all about it.
Well, now that the breakfast situation has been settled and you've spoken most of my speech, thank you very much. For that almost for 95 pesos. No. First of all, I have to thank you all for inviting me here today. It's a very special time. Oh, start again? Okay. Special thanks to Ron Lennox, who has been a supporter of the arts, not just the arts that we've produced, but all the arts in San Miguel, verbally and monetarily. When I email him thank yous for his wonderful comments, I always refer to him as our bromance. Actually, we've never met. Today we're meeting for the first time, but I'm very, very grateful to be here. Let me start with a little bit about myself. I'm a Canadian. I'm a professional actor. I've been here 16 and a half years now. And when I was a little boy, and that's when everything went dark because, oh God, he's going to talk about his childhood. I didn't think, oh, I want to be an actor. I was never in school plays. Then all of a sudden, when I was a teenager and my sister got married, my mother took me to New York as a conciliatory present, I guess. And we went to see My Fair Lady, the original My Fair Lady with Rex Harrison and Julie Andrews. And something twigged in me that I didn't talk about, but we went back to Toronto. And I thought, I've never seen a play. That was the first play I'd ever seen. When I was a kid, I went to the ice capades, I went to circuses, but not to the theater. Anyway, I wrote from my little magazine from the theater, I wrote to Alexander Cohen, how do I become an actor? And he or his secretary wrote back, go to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts or the Neighborhood Playhouse, both in New York. And I wrote, and I went to New York. I interviewed at both the schools, and I was accepted, and I chose the Neighborhood Playhouse. Little did I know at the time that I was going to be studying with one of the world's premier acting teachers, Sanford Meisner, along with people like Uta Hagen and Lee Strasberg. Sanford Meisner is up there with the best. I quit high school. I'm a high school dropout. I'm not an intellectual. I worked in a men's store for a year to save up money to go to New York. I studied for 2 years with Sandy Meisner and then in his professional class. And it was just an awakening in every respect, my years in New York studying. And I became a professional actor. My first job out of theater school was to play Macbeth, a very young Macbeth, at the Globe Theatre in Canada. And a little side story about professional. The word professional is bandied about a lot, especially in this business. Professional usually meant when you become a union member, and I've been a union member all my life, Actors Equity Association, Screen Actors Guild, whatever. So I never participated with community theater. I didn't have to or didn't know to. But since then, I consider professionalism as an actor, as a director, a dedication. Yes, a talent, but a dedication to the art. And I've worked with professionals that are anything but professional, and I've worked with non-professionals that are extraordinarily professional. So it's an attitude, it's a commitment to the protocol, to the art of acting, which is one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult art forms, because it uses every bit of your body, your life experience. So I respect it, and I respect actors. They're at the top of my list. So that's the New York. When I came back, the point of that story, when I came back and told my mother that I was going to theater school, she called in a psychiatrist and said I had to go see a psychiatrist. And I didn't go to see a psychiatrist. He came to the house. He made a house call to determine whether I was sane or not. He determined that I was sane. Obviously, he wasn't a good psychiatrist. And off I went to theater school, and which I just told you about. I've been very fortunate. I've had a wonderful career and still do in Canada, major theaters in Canada and across the States. And as Ron Lennox was saying, major theaters in New York. I toured with two of my childhood idols, Howard Keel and John Raitt, in two different companies of Shenandoah, playing their son. I love musical theater. I'm a singer. And it's been great. 16 and a half years ago, I moved here. The reason I moved here is a whole other story that isn't necessarily G-rated. It's just, it was time. I kept going to Puerto Vallarta. I thought, well, that's Mexico. All inclusive, well, that's Mexico. And I kept going there year after year. And then someone said, did you go up to the other cities? It's not like Puerto Vallarta, which I liked. Or as my sister calls it, Porto Vallarta. So I found San Miguel, and I found Leon, and I found these other wonderful places. Something happened. I bought a house. I rushed back to Canada, sold my house, moved here, and I've never had a moment of regret. I absolutely adore it. One of the reasons I adore it as an actor, as a director, is the freedom that it's offered me. The freedom of not dealing with agents, of not dealing with casting people, of not dealing with reviewers, of dealing with a dedicated, wonderful audience that have encouraged me and our actors to go for it. When I started doing work with Caja Negra, I started with one-man shows. I started with a Canadian play called House. And I would come out afterwards and say, is this the kind of theater that you want? Or do you want fluff? Do you want summer stock, ha, 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 and have a drink and go home? They said, no, we want serious theater, whether it's comedy, classic drama, we want serious theater. Then I did a Russian play, Diary of a Madman. And then I Am My Own Wife, a German transvestite. And the audience grew and grew and grew. So that's who I am. That's how I got here. I bring a lot to the table. As far as Caja Negra is concerned, it started with those one-person shows that I did. And I value the audience's opinion greatly. And as I said, my respect for actors is right up there. Actors don't get the respect in a lot of places that they deserve. So they're at the top of my list. That's why in our new location, they're getting their own green room with their own toilet, so they don't have to go to the bathroom with the audience. And that's a big thing with actors. Okay, so Caja Negra started with these one-person shows. Then I found a play called By the Waters of Babylon, and I found wonderful Eric Zavala and Jill Gottlieb, and it started to grow, and our audience started to grow. And the challenges started to grow into what Ron was saying, Kiss of the Spider Woman and An Act of God. And we started to develop our own unique way of presenting plays. For example, An Act of God was written as a one-person show in New York for Jim Parsons from The Big Bang Theory. Very campy show with God and the two archangels had a line here and a word there. We changed it, not changing the writer's words, which is important to me, into a three-man show. And instead of talking about creation, we displayed creation. I mean, it's the only stage in town where you're going to see Mary give birth to Jesus on stage. We had wonderful prosthetics made by Cornisa Dente for the body suits, the masks. I love using local artists and artisans rather than going on the internet and bringing something in from China or whatever. We have wonderful art right here. That developed a style of adapting plays, tweaking them. For example, another example, Kiss of the Spider Woman. In the original play, which we did, not the musical, the original play, which is very seldom done, there's an intimate scene. And in the script, it says the two men walk forward and deliver their lines. I thought, well, that's boring. In Spain, the two actors retreated upstage away from the audience and simulated sex. Don't know how you simulate sex. I did research, and men in Argentina dance with men to learn the tango, so until they're proficient and they can dance with a woman. So it's not necessarily a gay thing. It's a cultural thing. So we brought in Ezekiel, a wonderful tango teacher, and each of the actors had their solo tango, and the intimate scene was a tango, and it worked brilliantly, and the two of them were brilliant as far as I'm concerned. A lot of our shows have been done 2 and 3 times. 2 weekends isn't enough. It's not enough. It's not satisfying for actors, directors. It's not satisfying for the audience. We have an audience of visitors as well as locals. So presenting it more than once has been very, very rewarding. And Kiss of the Spider Woman will probably be mounted again because we want to videotape it. There's been requests that we tour it. I've taken some shows to Mexico City, to Guadalajara, and but my heart is right here in San Miguel. So Caja Negra has grown, and we've paid our dues. We've presented plays in other locations. We even have done environmental theater, so that I Am My Own Wife, which takes place at a German museum. We went to La Bujardia at La Fábrica Aurora and did it in an antique store, had a stage built, brought in lights. We did it at La Finca. We've performed at before Caja Negra at Doña Urraca Hotel, at Via Jacaranda, which I think is very sad that renovation can take place and just get rid of a theater. And that brings me to, I was asked to talk about theater in San Miguel. 16 years ago, when I got here, it was very sparse. There wasn't a lot of theater going on. Today, same thing, not a lot of theater going on. And I think that's because there hasn't been a continuity, and that's what we bring to the table. Continuity as well as high quality is terribly important to build an audience. Many people, I don't want to get negative, but many people have come to town and they do something and then it's going to be a festival and then they're gone 5 minutes later. And then someone else comes and we're going to present it next year in Spanish and they're gone. That's happened a lot. And I think we've been continuously presenting quality shows for these past 7 years. And now it's our turn to expand and not have to deal with government restrictions in certain venues that you can only rehearse from here to here. And you have to move your set because the movie screen has to come down, or we have another play coming in. So you have to da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So we're going to have our own space. We'll be the only resident repertory company in San Miguel. Repertory, for those of you who don't know, means that more than one play will play at a time. Our opening 3 shows, That's why I look the way I am. I'm directing 3 shows at once. I'm actually 31 years old. And this is what it has done to me. I had a full head of hair only 6 months ago. I did. Anyway, so these plays will run for at least a month. They'll run right till Christmas, actually. So people can see 3 plays in 1 week if they're visiting. Word of mouth is terribly important. Ron Lennox's site is the most important. Civil list is important. And I think we deserve it. The actors deserve it. The plays deserve a longer run. So, for example, on Monday night and Tuesday afternoon, House will play each week, just twice. Wednesday night, Thursday afternoon, My Brilliant Divorce will play twice a week. Then on the main stage, we have 2 stages. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon, Frankie and Johnny will play each week, okay? Plus musical events, plus a whole lot of other events that I'll tell you about. So that's repertory. The name Caja Negra means black box. And that's the style of theater. Our stage is totally movable and removable. The main stage is 12 sections, all movable. The pre-stage, the apron that thrusts into the audience is 4 on wheels sections that can be put in any kind of a form. That's where the monologue plays, the musicians, children's theater, Teatro Infantil that Christian Baumgartner is going to start. That's where that will play. And as I said, the audience can be in a different location. The stage can be in a different location. We'll have formal curtains. I think now actually we could put our little video on when I talk about what it's going to look like. Oh, okay. So I don't have to worry about what I look like now. This is the little laneway. Casa de la Noche was a bordello in the 30s and 40s. This laneway is going to be prettied up. It goes between Órganos and Calzada de la Luz. It goes from one side to the other. And our door, we'll have banners and everything, is the second white door. It's the second address named 2. Of course, there's 2 addresses named 2. And so that's going to be our entrance. We're adjacent to the hotel. We're an independent company from the hotel. This was their wedding and event room. And as you see, it's under construction. We're putting in walls. All the windows, all the glass will be blocked off. And I'm going to keep talking. You can watch that if you want, and I'm going to go on about it. Theater for me is the cultural spine of any community. It is so important. And now we have very few venues in the city. We have the Players Workshop, and they've done a wonderful renovation, turning a Salon Fiesta into a viable theater. And I understand they'll be opening next month as well. We have the Sindicato, which all of a sudden has come to life for Spanish-speaking entertainment. One of the reasons it's come to life is 2 of our Caja Negra members, Rodrigo Demian and Yvette Pizarro, are now helping manage the place. And they've got an influx of money. So it's alive. Santa Ana, a government-run venue, is a beautiful theater. It has its restrictions, though. And the shelter, I don't know whether it's going to come back, but it's a shame if it doesn't. And that's about it. I don't count the Angela Peralta or the Bellas Artes as a viable place to do a play. I really love intimacy. Our theater is going to be maximum 80 seats. It's not going to be in rows, so you're sharing elbows with strangers. It's going to be, we found these wonderful seats in Merida from an Art Deco movie theater. And they're red, and it's a soft vinyl that's easily sanitized. It's quite wonderful. And they're going to be in groups of 4 and in groups of 2, and they'll also have some singles, separated, all separated, more casual, not in tight rows. So those are on their way now from Merida. The facility will be, as I said, 80 seats maximum. We'll probably start with 60, and hopefully we'll fill those. You don't have to show me. Okay. There'll be 3 areas of seating. One right around the stage, very close to the stage. We call that the orchestra. And then one level up, the mezzanine, which is one level up, and then another level up, the balcony. All very close to the stage. I'm going to throw out one thing now. I was going to save it to the end, but I think it's better now because then I have other things to say. COVID. COVID. Yes, this has been an ongoing thing. And we meet every week, our group, and we talk about what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And Eric Zavala, one of our members, the first member actually, suggested I go to ask our donors. They're the ones that are most interested in theater. They're the ones that have contributed. So I did. I put out a questionnaire to the donors. I said, A, do you want a vaccine requirement that people show that they have proof of vaccine? B, would you prefer just a strong suggestion that people get vaccine, but we won't check? It was overwhelmingly A, that people show proof of vaccine. As I said earlier, I value our audience. They've steered us in a direction of the style of plays that we do, and I'm trusting them to steer us in this direction. So they're the ones that are determining this decision. We're going the way of Broadway. We're going the way of major concerts. We're going the way of sports. Unfortunately, it's just a sign of the times. I hate wearing this just as much as everybody does. But until we get a handle on it, I think that's what we have to do. I care about the actors. The actors are all being vaccinated. Any guests that aren't vaccinated have to be tested within 24 hours of performing. It's serious. It's serious. And I have wonderful comments from the donors saying, thank you for considering us. Are you walking out because you hate this decision? We have our first defector. You better just be going to the bathroom. Okay. Anyway, so that's our decision. Caja Negra is going to be more than a professional resident company, repertory company. We will have young people's theater on Saturdays and Sundays to teach not only acting, but theater craft. My dedication, I ran a school in Toronto, as well as being an actor, called the Actors Workshop. Not a terribly inventive title, but that's what it was called. And I was brought in to Eastern Canada and other schools to give talks and demonstrations of acting techniques. By the way, acting should be taught by actors, by directors, by people who do it, not by textbooks, not by teachers. The same way you learn how to be a cook or an iron worker. You apprentice with people that know how to do it, that do it. I'm very adamant about that. Anyway, I went into one school. It was a Catholic school, and I did some of my exercises, and I gave this little girl a picture from a magazine of a face, and the exercise was she has to create who it is, what the name is, what their job is, what their life is like, and the nun came over and said, not her, not her. And I said, yeah, her. Anyway, it was her turn. She got up and she spoke. And the nun said, this is the first time she's ever said anything. Acting classes are incredible for children, especially for the kids that aren't the cheerleader or the jock football player that get the leading roles in the plays. My focus is those other kids. And we'll teach them about set designing. We'll teach them about lighting. We'll teach them about stage management. The same way I was taught when I was in theater school. First year kids had to do backstage work for the second year kids. And it's a way of growing into a young company. So they're presenting their own plays. We already have a wonderful young woman. She's 19. She wants to write and direct. She's already submitted a play. She's a cellist. She's going to play at one of our openings. And people are starting, how do we get involved with the young people's theater? And I want kids that can't afford it. We want an outreach program so that people are supporting those kids, so that it's open for everybody. Total in English and Spanish. The teachers will be a male and a female who are totally bilingual. And I believe that this is the way to grow a Spanish-speaking audience. We've tried, there's a company in San Miguel that's doing a very very strong job. I told you I dropped out of high school, so the words escape me sometimes, with super titles. I think that's great that they're doing that. I saw Las Madres, which is a wonderful production. Why isn't it being done again and again? And it brought in English and Spanish-speaking people. Not a lot of Spanish-speaking people, but it brought people in. And I applaud that. I believe to grow a Spanish-speaking audience so that we're realistically integrated as we are in the town, is to start with the children. And in 5 years, they're not children anymore. They're used to coming into a theater. Their parents are used to coming into a theater and watching them. And it evolves that way. It's not a scary place. I mean, I always invite my neighbors. Oh yeah, we'll come. And I give them free tickets. It's just apparently not in the culture. So I'm going to try and change that culture. And it starts with the children. Very important part of this project. I want there to be entertainment year round. I want it to be high level. I don't want Aunt Mary and Uncle Bunny doing their puppet shows. I want it to be quality at quality. The actors now that want to work with us are putting in their pictures, their resumes, and an audition. And a lot of them don't follow through because they've not been asked that before. But that's what we're doing now. And it proves that there's a dedication, that you sit down and put a resume together, that you put a picture together, that you put a monologue together. If you can't do that, then you're not going to show up at rehearsals all the time. When I first got here, I taught adults, and I stopped quickly, because after you work with people who seem dedicated, and all of a sudden they have a scene to do, and they say, yeah, but I got a ride to Costco, so I can't come to the class. So what am I going to do with your scene part? And that just, that doesn't work. It just doesn't work for me. It's you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. This venture is costing a lot of money. We're building this from scratch. We're building a theater. The stage is being built. The lights are being bought. They're all new LED theater lights. The bars are there. Oh, did we finish the whole thing? The video? Okay. That was some of our actors at our meeting. That was our set designer and theater designer, Francisco Coronado, who is pretty much a co-director of the company right now, because I'm becoming frail as we move on. Speaking of frail, I'm not going to be here forever. None of us are. I want this not to be the Alan Jordan Theater. I want it to be the Caja Negra Performing Arts, or whatever it's going to be called, but a theater run by artists, not run by a board of directors, not run by accountants or government people that have nothing to do with the arts. I want it run by artists as it is now. And we have our drawbacks. It's difficult, I tell you. It's difficult to make business decisions, especially for me. And doing the directing and then running to the bank and then running to the printer and all that sort of thing. But we're determined. I want it to go on and be a landmark place in San Miguel for performing arts. There isn't that right now. There is for visual arts. There certainly is for music. There's music all over the place, wonderful music. But there needs to be a signature place that, oh yeah, in San Miguel, there's this company, this resident company, and they do wonderful plays. I have people writing me now that bolsters me from my frailty, writing, how do I get tickets? We're thinking of coming back, and we always come to your shows. What's your protocol going to be about COVID? And I write back, and they say, oh, thank goodness. because we go in St. Louis or we go in Chicago and we have to do this and we do that, but we're worried about in San Miguel. So going back to that's our decision. But I get wonderful comments from people, from the donors. They don't just donate, they write comments, very flattering comments, not me, about me personally, about what we do. And that's important. I don't want to just do stuff because I want to do it. I want to do stuff that people want to see. It's important. It's entertainment. It's education. It's showing humanity. It's holding a mirror up to ourselves. A person once said to me, "I don't go to your plays. It makes me think too much." And I thought, "Oh, honey, you don't want to do that. Heaven forbid." But there's that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's theater, there's productions that feed that. I'm not saying that everything we do is Macbeth, but even our comedies, we're starting with 3 different types of comedies. We need comedies after this year and a half. Yes, sir. Oh, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were waving to me. Okay. Summing up, I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. We still need money, as my voice cracks. We're going ahead and doing everything we've done, and people have been very generous, but I understand that everybody is asking for money. Feed the hungry, feed the this, feed the that, and viable things. Other theaters are trying to raise money. I really encourage people to support us. I'm giving everything I can to the donors, short of a dinner date. And even I'll throw that in too, if anyone's interested. You get free tickets, you get a weekend at the Casa de la Noche, you get this, you get that. The audience is terribly important. As far as the logistics, the masks will be worn in the theater for drinks and snacks, and for the openings and stuff, we have an outdoor patio when you can drink and eat and stuff. But in the theater, it's going to be the masks. And the people that go to Broadway tell me, if the play's wonderful, you forget about the mask after 5 minutes. It's a pain in the ass. It's for all of us. But I think I want to protect myself. I want to protect you all. I want to protect, and hopefully in a few months, 6 months, maybe we don't have to do this anymore. But we need to get started. We need to bring back theater. We need to bring back entertainment. We need to get off of the television set and the computer and feed ourselves. Culture and experiences. The theater experience starts with the purchase of the ticket, with the way you're greeted at the door, with how you're treated in the theater, with the quality of what's on stage, and how you're thanked when you leave. It isn't come or don't come, and here's your ticket and line up, and here's a number. We have to take care of our audience, whether they're infirmed, which some people have a hearing issue, some people have a mobility issue. We've thought of all of that, and we'll take care of all of that. It's terribly important that the audience feels comfortable to ask for specific things when they go to the theater. It's an experience unlike any other, unlike a movie, unlike television, unlike Judge Judy, unlike anything. And we've earned it. We've earned it, and we want to continue. We have a new actor that hopefully will be part of the company that wants to do a musical version of Hamlet, a scaled down version, but musical of Hamlet. And I said, I'll support you. That's the kind of thing. We're looking at Chekhov plays for our next season. Okay? So please come to the theater. Please consider supporting us either by coming to the theater or donating. We still need money. And I hate ending on that, but our audience is important. Our audience is our scene partner. They're not just silent people sitting in the dark. They're our scene partner. I tell the actors that all the time. We can't do the play without the audience. Okay? Yes, sir.
Where will we be able to get tickets online?
We'll have that as soon as I get off my rump and go to the printer. We'll have our own on-site facility, Ticket Leap. They'll have the tickets online, and we'll also have hard tickets available at the location 3 hours a day. during the week. And all that'll be heavily publicized. Won't it, Ron? Yes.
Alan, when are you planning your first?
That's important.
Yep.
November 13th,
Wow.
we'll have open house. Yeah, I know. Open house. Didn't need that. Wow. We'll have open house. He cut the word gala. A lovely lady from Literary Salad said, get rid of the word gala. It's overused.
Soiree.
So it's, no, it's an open house celebration. And with previews of the first 3 plays on the 13th, free for the donors. Free for the donors.
Yeah.
And on the 14th, a fundraiser, $100 fundraiser for other people that want to come and see the previews and see the facility. And then the first play starts the next Monday, opening on Monday, opening on Wednesday, another opening on Wednesday, another opening on Friday. That whole week, all 3 plays open.
Right. Anybody have any questions out there?
Yeah,
Can't
I
really
have a
tell.
child in mind. How do I introduce the child to you?
How old?
12.
Perfect. We'll put out the information about when. I think it's probably more realistic to think of the new year for the children, because this whole discrepancy of vaccine, not vaccine, and everything, we have to work it out with the school year, the logistically, rather than just saying, oh yeah, come on. It has to be properly. And I think the beginning of the year would be the best time. But it'll be a wonderful program. As I say, it won't just be acting classes. Anything else?
Look at all these people. There's a lot of people out there.
That's good.
I don't know whether anybody has any questions.
I have a niece out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlotte Bell, you have a question. You'll have to unmute, Charlotte.
Yes. Do you have a list of the performances that you're going to have for the remainder of 2021 and for 2022?
Yes, as I said, on the first play is House, a one-man tour de force. The second play is My Brilliant Divorce, which is an Irish playwright has written. A woman, Clara Dunham, is doing that. Very funny, wonderful, touching. And Eric Zavala, the wonderful Eric Zavala, and new actors with our company, Sofia Leal de la Rosa, are going to be playing Frankie and Johnny with, I'm putting dance into it. So we have a wonderful choreographer. Those are the first 3 plays that'll run in tandem. And now we're doing readings of plays for January.
We have a question in the chat box. How do we give or support the theater company?
Say that again.
How do we give to the theater company?
I think our email address is there, Teatro Caja Negra mx@gmail.com. And I keep posting, I will post it tomorrow on SMA FAQ. The link, our donation link. And that's the best way. Can you put up the address? Is that possible? Pardon? Teatro Caja Negra mx@gmail.com.
Is there a website?
Not yet. It's under construction. We'll have a website. We have a Facebook page that's also getting ready to be put out.
Want to thank you for coming, Alan. Good luck.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And in appreciation for your presentation today, the Midday Rotary Club of San Miguel de Allende presents a donation of 10 polio immunizations that will be made in your honor to Rotary's End Polio Now campaign.
Thank you. That's great.
Thank you for coming.
That's great.
All right. Don't everybody leave yet. Speaking of the End Polio Now campaign, we have a message from Rotary International's president.
Is polio still a viable thing in Mexico?
Not in Mexico.
Where?
We're not getting audio in Zoom.
2021, we can look back at this journey.
No.
with great satisfaction.
All right, why don't we try and save that for next week, okay? Because
From
we're
every continent,
running a little bit out of,
we have succeeded
getting short
in
on
ending
time.
polio
Okay.
in the most.
We'll get to that next week. I apologize for the little technical glitch there. All right. Immediately after this meeting, club services will get together and have a committee meeting. And next week, Ron, who do we have?
We have Melanie Lansing from Mexico Insurance Advisors. She'll be speaking about expat health insurance.
All right, very good. Now, so as we had talked at the beginning of the meeting, for those of you that are going to be coming in person, we are going to meet at 8 o'clock in the morning in the restaurant. I will talk to the restaurant people. We'll have a special section and we'll have breakfast before the meeting, just like we used to do. And with that,
I'm going to say one thing. Please consider us as a possible venue.
there you go.
There's breakfast there too.
Really? Okay, very good. With that, meeting is adjourned.
Welcome.